What's up, YouTubers? Johnny DIY here. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to patch and repair a large hole in your drywall. If you guys are new to my channel, do me a favor, click the subscribe and the notification bell so you can get all my new videos. Alright guys, let's get to this one. Okay, this is the large hole we're going to be working on today. I just removed an old wall heater, but maybe you just have a big bash in yours and need to replace the little section. It's going to be the same job. So the first step is you're going to want to have clean, straight edges around the drywall where we're going to be patching it. If you have a bash or a hole in it, you're going to have to cut out that section. And the best tool for that is this is a jab saw, and the pointed end right here, you can just literally push it into the drywall and then saw out the section, and it cuts super easy. I'll make sure I put a link down in the description to one of these as well as the rest of the tools I'm using today. So yeah, just cut out the bad section and save that section. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and measure the opening for our new piece to cut. And you can also go ahead and take the time to measure the thickness of the drywall. This is 1/2 inch so that you know what thickness to get at the hardware store. Now we're going to lay our drywall out to cut. If you have that piece that you cut out, you can simply put that on top and go ahead and trace that piece so you'll get an exact match. And we're going to be cutting the face of the drywall, not the back cardboard looking side. Okay, now to cut it you only need your utility knife, and all you're going to do is cut along our line we just made. You can use a straight edge if you want, but you don't have to cut deep. You just have to score that facing with your knife. And then what we would do is we just lift up, and then we're going to snap it back like that. Then it breaks it right on our cut. We flip it upside down, and we can cut the backing with our knife. Make sure you have a sharp blade. Okay, now I've got my 2 pieces cut. You may only need 1 depending on the size of your hole, but now if we look around, there's nothing really to screw or nail the drywall to. So we're going to need to cut some pieces of wood to attach to our studs right here so we'll have something to mount the new drywall to. This is a great time to rummage through your scrap wood pile and grab some pieces that you want to get rid of. Blocking cut, we can screw this on. If you just have a hole, what you can do is slip that piece of wood in the hole like this and then screw in through the drywall here and then on the other side, and then you'll have something to screw in your piece to. Okay, now I've got all the blocking pretty much done. You're just going to want to make sure that you have enough blocking so that you'll have enough screws to put about every foot. Then I've got this little scrap piece. I'm going to be putting the 2 pieces of drywall here, and then as well as the old drywall meeting the new drywall so we can tie those together to give it a really strong joint. Go ahead and mark where our blocking is on the drywall to the side. That way we'll know where to put the screws after we get the drywall up. So you're going to want to use drywall specific screws, and you're going to want to screw it in straight into the drywall through into our backing. And when we screw it in, we're not going to countersink it a lot, just enough to dimple the paper. Till you can run your hand over it and not feel the head poking out. You don't want to go so far as to rip the face of the paper. That'll end up making the drywall a lot weaker. Now sometimes you need to make fine adjustments or clean up your cut edges. That's where these drywall sanders come in handy. You just run it along the edge and it shaves that edge off real clean. There we go, now it fits like a glove. So like I said earlier, you want to put a screw about every foot. Now all the hard work's pretty much done. Now all that's left is the finesse work. So what we're going to be doing is now we're going to be taping the seams. Get yourself one of these pails of all-purpose joint compound. That's what I've got here in my bin. Then we'll take it with our drywall knife and we're going to press it into the seams. All the way around our whole patch. Really fill in those seams. You can go over your screw heads as well. You want to leave a little bit of a layer on there. Now we're going to be putting our drywall tape over the mud we just laid. I'm going to be using regular paper tape, which is stronger than mesh tape. Mesh tape goes on a little easier, so if you're not too experienced, you may want to just get mesh tape. But if you do get the paper tape, it comes pre-creased like this. We're going to want the crease facing towards the wall. So we just cut it to fit our joint, and we put that crease right in the middle of our joint. Press it down a little bit. And then what we'll do is we'll hold the middle of the tape, and we're going to take our knife and we're going to spread our joint compound out from the middle. And that's going to bed the tape into the compound. Then we can scrape away the excess compound and save that. So we just butt the tape up to each other. Okay, now we are done for today. Don't worry that you can still see the tape. The point of the first coat is just to bed our tape. So don't try and cover it up. Don't go adding a bunch. Just that thin layer to bed the tape. So we're going to let this dry for 24 hours. Okay, so it's dried a whole day. You're going to know when the joint compound is dry, when it's turned completely white. And if you hit your fingernails on it, it shouldn't leave a dent. It should be really hard. Now what we'll do is take some between 100 and 150 grit, and we're going to go ahead and sand down all the high spots and ridges that we made when we were putting it on. You just want to be careful where the tape is. You don't want to sand into the tape and fuzz up the tape. So where the tape is, be extra careful. You just don't want to go through the compound into the tape and start sanding that. So we just want to hit all the high spots. If you have textured walls, you don't have to sand as much, but if you have a real smooth finish wall, you're going to need to really sand those high spots down. If your wall's smooth here and then your patch is here, you don't want a big ridge here. Now it's time for our second coat of mud. It's okay to add a little bit of water to your compound. When it's extra thick, you want to be able to spread pretty easy. So if it's kind of dry, just add a little water to it. Mix it up. Okay, now we're going to be using a little bit bigger drywall knife. We're going to be using a 12-inch knife now. And we're going to go back over our tape. This is the coat that we're going to be actually trying to hide the tape. So just go ahead and put a thin layer right over the tape. Go ahead and do that all the way around your tape first. Then we can come back, clean it up. So now we're just going to want to feather those edges of the tape. So how you do that is you put more pressure on each edge of the tape. You just want to spread it across that tape. Wait another day for this to dry. If you need to speed up this process, you can put some fans on this. If it's wintertime, run your heat. If it's summertime, run your AC. Alright, so another day and another coat of mud. I just finished up sanding, and it looks like this patch is going to need 4 coats, including the last coat, which is the texture coat. Sometimes you may be able to get away with 3 total coats, but like I said earlier, it's multiple thin layers is always better. So you just lay it on pretty thick, and then when you come back, you smooth it off and take off the excess. This is where it takes that finesse. Light pressure. Just try and get rid of any lines or divots. Especially if you have smooth finished walls, you're really going to have to work on this. But you can always sand if you mess up. There we go. Now after this third coat, you should have a nice smooth finish. If we look from the side, we're pretty much even. I gotta add the texture on the next one. But you should have a nice smooth finish. You shouldn't be able to see your tape anymore, and you shouldn't have dips where your tape is. Okay, I just sanded and cleaned yet again, so we're on to our final and 4th coat. This is going to be our texturing coat. So this is when you're going to need to look at the surrounding wall and really see what kind of finish you have to try and match it. This is a heavy knockdown finish, so that's what we're going to be doing today. But if you just have little dimpling on it, that'd be orange peel finish. I've got my compound, my joint compound, thinned down again with the water like we did before. It's like a thick sour cream right now. So I'm just going to put on a nice thin coat across the whole patch. Now I'm just going to take a regular roller and I'm going to back roll it to try and bring that texture up. Now if you had a large area to do, you can just pick it up with the roller, pick up the compound and roll it right on the wall. But since this is just a small patch, you roll it on. Now I can even out the spots that maybe I didn't have enough compound. We kind of want it to dimple up like that. And then especially on your edges where you're trying to blend it around, you're going to need to feather those out further than the actual patch. So see, if you can see, after rolling it out, it leaves these little dimples, these little mountaintop peaks. And we're just going to let this set up for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. And then after it's set up, I'll come back with my drywall knife. And what we're going to do is you just very lightly drag the knife across the face of those peaks. And it just kind of flattens them down, see, like that, to try and match this as best as we can. Okay, we've waited now again yet another day. You always want to prime fresh drywall or joint compound with a good primer before painting it with your finished top coat. That's going to seal this drywall. Important if you're trying to blend it in to match the old paint to the new paint. Okay, so I got it all painted and it's all done. Looks pretty good, guys. Hopefully you liked this video and you found it helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up for me. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and click the notification bell so you can get all my new videos. Thanks for watching Johnny DIY. Keep on doing it yourself, guys. Take care.